Well, hello, thank you for watching this recording. What I was hoping was to show you how to decompose shapes and then give you another try on your Google assignment. So what I've done is kept the same shapes and changed the measurements. And if you want to work on a piece of scratch paper with me while I do the shapes with these measurements, then you can go ahead and try the ones in Google Classroom with the correct measurements and try again. And send that to me through Kmail. All right, so the idea here with decomposing these shapes is that you're supposed to like cut them into other shapes and figure out the measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I would cut this shape into different pieces. If I drew a line right here, this would make a triangle and a rectangle that I could then work with right here. And so I know that the rectangle is 8 by 10. And so the area for the rectangle would be length times width, which would be 8 times 10. If we substitute in those different measurements there, our length and our width that we have right here, then total area for that would be 80. So the rectangle's area is 80. Let's go ahead and do the triangle. Let me change my pen color here. And let's do the triangle that's up on top. So for the triangle, we need to do area equals the height times the base divided by 2. So let me just move this up a little bit so that I can have a little bit more space to work over here. Put that over there. Okay, so we know that the base is 10. We can see that right there. I'm going to put that in. And it's kind of confusing on what the height is on that rectangle. Well, here's how we figure it out. We have 8 that goes up to here, and the 20 keeps going all the way up. So if we take away the 8 from the 20, then we'll know that this is the leftover measurement and that that's the height of the triangle there. And so then we can put it down here in our formula. So if I put in that 12, then my area would be 12 times 10, which is 120. But then I have to cut it in half, which would be 60. So see how I had to cut that shape up into two different shapes and get their separate areas there? Well, then to tell the overall area, the last step would be to add the 80 plus the 60, and that would give me 140. And whatever the unit was on this one, we would say the measurement, like if it was centimeters or millimeters squared. And that would be the area for this shape. Okay, so I want you to pause this recording and work out shape A that was in Google Classroom, and then find out what that area was, decomposing it the same way, but notice that the measurements are different, and see what you come up with. All right, let's try another one here and see if we can figure out the other shape. So B was a shape that looked like this with different measurements. And let's go ahead and decompose this into, let's do a rectangle and a triangle. Can we do that right there? Let's see if we can figure that out. So for the rectangle, we've got 18 and 4 as our length times our width for our rectangle. So we've got the area equals 18 times 4. So that's like length times width there. You grab your handy dandy calculator and do that 18 times 4. You get the area equals 72. So for the rectangle, we know that it's 72. Let's see if we can't figure out the triangle. So for this triangle right here, it looks like we've got like a base times a height. Let's figure out what this measurement is right here. I'm going to highlight it so that we can see what we're talking about. this side right here is going to be, I like these puzzles. We've got a total of 18. Here we've got 10. Well, that kind of tells us what this side is, but let's work with this one down here. So we've got a total of 8. You can't see that very well down there, but this is number 8 down here. And the rectangle comes out to a 4. So that means this side right here that's left is a 4 as well. So together that whole side would be 4 plus 4 would equal 8. And then this side over here, we've got the 18, we've got 10. That would leave us with 8 for this side right there. So for our triangle, we've got the measurements of 8 and 4. Now remember, our formula for triangle is height times base divided by 2. If I end up doing the area equals 8 times 4 divided by 2. Area equals 32 divided by 2. Area equals our final one there. That would give us 18, right? 32 divided by 2, 16. Thank goodness I checked with my handy dandy calculator. All right, so that is the area of the rectangle. Let me scoot that over, of the triangle over here. So our total shape would be 72 plus 16. If we add those two together, we should be able to find the area for the entire thing. 88, and then whatever the units were squared, because we're working with area. All right, so that's how you would do a shape like this. The key is just knowing where to cut it up. Go ahead and pause this video and try with the numbers that were given to you in Google Classroom. All right, let's take a look at C and see if we can decompose this one into some different shapes here. I see that we've kind of got a rectangle-ish here and maybe a triangle here. So what about if I cut it like this? I think that'll work for me. I think my measurements will work out. So if I cut it like this, this rectangle is 5 times 3, which most of you know in your head is 15. So we know that the area for the rectangle is 15. But what do we got for this triangle? Well, I can see that this side is 5, just like this side. So we're going to work with that 5. But what's down here? Well, the whole thing is 5, but up till this point is 3. So to find this leftover side over here, I'm going to have 2. 5 take away the 3 that's up above. So there's my measurements for my triangle. I'm going to do that one over here. Area equals the height times the base divided by 2. Area equals 10 divided by 2. Area equals 5. All right. So if my triangle's 5 and my rectangle's 15, mental math would tell you what that is, I bet. But if not, go ahead and just add it up, and then remember to label it as units squared. All right, go ahead and pause the video now to try this by yourself with the same shape, just different measurements, and see what you come up with on that one. Okay, we're on our last shape. It's shape D. I thought it was interesting how many people got this shape correct, even though it was obvious they had no idea what they were doing. And it was just how the numbers worked out mathematically. I think they were multiplying these two numbers and just going with it, although they weren't quite sure how that would work out. Some people, I think they noticed that they could cut this triangle off and put it over here, and it would give them a rectangle, which is kind of another interesting approach. So either way, a lot of people got this one right, although I don't think they handled it the same way as maybe I would have approached it, but that was fine. They still got their 5 points. So if you weren't sure, I would decompose this into a rectangle and a parallelogram and see if I could do my measurements that way. All right, so for this rectangle right here, we just have length times width, which is 4 times 3. That would give us a 12 for the area of the rectangle. For the parallelogram, we've got to figure out a few of our sides, huh? So in a rectangle, we've got this side is the same as this side, so I can just copy this down. This would be 3. And we've got to find out what is the measurement of this height that is left here. Because remember, a parallelogram is base times height. So what is this unknown right here? Well, we know that this side over here is 4, and that the whole thing from top to bottom is 7. So if I take this side out of that 7, it leaves me with a 3. And that's what's left there for my parallelogram. So for parallelogram, the formula is also base times height, which is very similar to a rectangle of length times width. So we can go 3 times 3, that gives us 9. And together, our rectangle and our parallelogram together would give us a measurement of 21 units squared. See how I did that? So now I want you to try the same thing with the next shape here that was in Google Classroom of D. And see if you can't get all your points back after you've watched the video and learned how to do it. I will give you another try if you K-mail me the answers. I think if you submit them to Google Classroom again, I'm not going to see it because I'm done grading that assignment. So if you have tried all of these and been able to get the shapes that I showed here where I didn't give you the answers, send those through to me in K-mail and I will change your grade and give you full points just to honor your efforts in watching the video. This is a lot like lesson 3-7, where you need to know how to decompose shapes, and you're going to need to know it for the test. So it was wise of you to watch this video. I hope it helped. Send me a K-mail with your new answers. Bye.